Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
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 As I rise, La ilaha illallah. There is no person, deity, or thing worthy of worship save Allah. He is the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. All praise is due to Allah. Highest of honors to his prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm going to give honors to the Moorish flag, the red flag with the green 5-pointed star in the center, representing the 5 highest principles known to man, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. A flag that has flown on these shores for over 50,000 years. I want to give honors to the forerunner of the prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, his teacher Deuce Ali, and Elijah Muhammad. I want to extend honors to all temples in the Moorish Science Temple of America, regardless of grand body affiliation. I want to give honors to Temple number 19, the Office of the Grand Governor, with the Sheikh staff, the vanguards, the admin staff, the Sisters Auxiliary, and especially the Ills and Babes. Islam?
Islam.
All right. Let's touch on one of my favorite subjects. Easy, slavery, as it always pertains to the Moors. Islam?
Islam.
Oh, I didn't think I was going to get Islam on that one. All right. I'm reading from the Moorish literature. The article entitled, A Divine Warning by the Prophet for All the Nations.
Islam.
Islam? All right. Be like the first one, first page. All right. It says the citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. All right. So we have citizens, we have a free national government, a national constitution, one family, and a free national name.
That's right.
All right. So if it, I'll keep going. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classified as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. So we have again, the free national name. So if we're citizens, as we say when we took our oath and joining the Moorish Science Temple of America, we need to know what our free national name is and how it pertains to us in this society. All right. Now we've gone over this before, and I know this is the easy answer. Our free national name is American, specific. American. Our descent name is Moorish, so we put those together. That's where we get our Moorish American. Islam. We are undeniably, undoubtedly American citizens. Islam. So it is what it is, right? Islam. It says it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to names and principles that allude to slavery. In those ideals, what names will we choose? What names will be alluding to slavery? It's easy.
Negro, black, colored,
etc. Right? And any name that isn't ours. It could be African American. It could be all sorts of other names. Now they say that. Now it says that this is a sin specifically, so it's a divine thing, right? And of course, a sin is a transgression against the law. We step out of bounds. We're all set with certain boundaries, and if we step outside of those, we overstep our bounds. That's what we call a sin, right? Or a transgression. So to allow ourselves and to answer to those types of names, we're putting ourselves in a specific situation or a specific condition, which will allow citizens, remember, because we're going back to citizen again, to do what they want, because citizen is a specific status, if you will, for lack of a better term. One of the ideals that we run into is when it comes to Moors are scared to be called citizens. right? Moors don't want to be citizens. We'll be everything else. We'll be nationals. We'll be all sorts of other things, or just Moors. We don't even want to be Moorish Americans, right? All right, we just want to be Moors, and that's it. However, to answer to anything except for what we are puts us in a bad situation. I'll keep going. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways again and go back to the state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens.
Islam.
Right? According to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. All right, so we have a constitution. So now let's take these ideals, especially this first sentence. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Now, you could take citizen, you can change it to member, right? You could take the free national government and you could say the temple. You could take the national constitution and change it to the divine constitution. And we'll still be bearing that one family, we are one family still, and we'll be bearing one free national name. Of course, I'm talking to this constitution. It's the same thing. We get members in our divine constitution. It's talking about citizens. It's the same ideal, right? And if we can get this right on a divine level, we can get this right on a national level. It's not that tough, right? And of course, when we talk about constitution, we're not talking about just a document. We're talking about, like when I talk about the constitution of a person, you're talking about the person's overall health, the sturdiness, right? What's the strength of our constitution? Right? All right. Now, continue, it says, they are to claim their own free national name and religion. First thing that you're supposed to do. Claim your own free national name and religion. Sounds easy, that's the hardest thing to do. All right? Because our free national name as Americans, we rarely want, sometimes justified. I mean, there's situations that we have to work out, definitely when it comes to government and our lives and the lives of our children. Sometimes our men and our women as well. But when it comes to claiming, you have to take it. There's something you have to claim. You have to stand on it, claim it. What two things you're supposed to claim? Again, free national name and religion. Right? We have to stand on the fact that we are who we are. We can't be Moorish Americans until about 11 or so o'clock, and then we cool on black folks again, and that whole thing. It just doesn't work. Because at that point, you're what? You're lying. If you're lying, that's a sin, right? And that's stepping out of bounds, transgression, X, Y, Z, going back to a lie, that whole thing again, right? Easy. Now, if you have a free national name and your religion, the other issue we have to work out is our religious part. Because if there's one thing that scares Moorish Americans, Asiatics, especially nowadays, it's those 5 letters. Islam. And we'll say it in the chant, Islam, Islam. You know, we'll do that part. But when it comes to the principles that these things bestow upon us, we don't want to follow. We don't want to be part and parcel of those things. Right? We're scared of Arabism. I'm scared of Arabism. I'm not an Arab.
That's right.
I don't do Arab stuff. Arabs do Arab stuff. Right? We have to figure out what Moorish American stuff is.
Indeed.
Right now, what's Moorish American food? I have no idea either. Don't worry about it. All right, so you're gonna think for a while on that. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine and national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their what? Divine rights, unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under a free national constitution of the state's government and not under granted privilege that has been the existing condition for many generations. All right? So now we're talking about people being able to move unmolested and do a certain thing. He calls it, what do you call it? A free national ballot. What do citizens do? Just that easy. Now, the issue comes when you have this word here, slavery. Because there's one thing that we don't want to be called, more than anything in the world, no matter what Asiatic it is, and that is a slave. We don't like it. I'm not going to go into the history of what the word means, and we know the Slavs and all that kind of stuff, and blah, blah, blah. This is a thing that we don't want to be known as in any way, shape, form, or fashion. However, let's go to another article. Page 24, political slavery. And the prophet breaks this down a little bit further. It says, anytime a man or a woman fails or refuses to cast a sacred ballot, so now it's a free ballot, now it becomes a sacred ballot, right? At the polls, they separate themselves from all rights of an American citizen. That's pretty easy. Now, if you're not a citizen, then you go back to those things, you know, which delude to slavery. You can be molested by other true citizens. This is a thing that has to be put in action in the political part. It says, surely this is the one connecting medium for all citizens of this nation. So no matter who you are, we talk about the rich, the poor, the lion and lamb, everybody should be doing what? Voting, and they all have that one what vote, easy, right? It's a chance for you, and of course they call it sacred. So, you know, it being sacred means it has to, you know, it's divine, it has to do with God to some degree, right?
That's right.
When we talk about God, what other words should we use for that?
Allah, great God.
No?
Deity.
There's another word. Starts with a W. The favorite word that our other favorite word.
White. I mean, great God, ruler of the land.
Right?
Yes.
So we're basically, when you give your ballot, this sacred ballot, your opinion, you're taking your other favorite word, sovereignty, your sovereign energy, your energy from God, and you're exercising it as a ruler of the land. That's the thing that you're doing. You know, when you don't do it, when you withhold that thing, what is your purpose in being here? Everyone should have an opinion and be able to voice that opinion. All right? Now, we can find out right now, we're going to do a little test to see if we are political slaves. How many Moorish Americans do we have in this room? Everyone raise their hand if you're a Moorish American, right? Everybody except for Heru is a Moorish American.
Okay.
It's wild. Let's pretend, and we all live in the Atlanta area for the most part, right? Let's just say everyone in the Atlanta metro area votes, and is going to be voting for this election coming up that the chairman was talking about. We have to figure out as Moorish Americans what is important to us. Now, since we have Moorish Americans in this room, let's throw it out there. What's important to a Moorish American?
The artist.
Education.
So if you're gonna go to the mayor and say, I want art. All right. He threw it out there fast too, so I'm gonna have to put it on there. Arts. Okay, so we're negotiating. So you're gonna say, look, all right, you have a platform, you're Moorish Americans, I get it. I need your vote. What do you want? You want Picasso's. Educational options, right? Okay. I'll have education to write that correctly. All right. What are things that are important to a Moorish American, specifically to us, specifically? Not just all Asiatics, not to Koreans, not to the Japanese. As a Moorish American Muslim, what is important to us?
Our nationality, our status.
Our status. How would the mayor be able to affect our status?
By writing laws that give us funding to start institutions.
You want money? Okay, got it. Right.
I wanted to say this.
So what should I put that under?
Money. Funds.
You want funds?
Finance.
Lifeline.
Yeah.
Moolah.
All right. Now, the mayors generally control the police commissioners, right? Do we want some assurities that our people are going to be a little less molested? You know, because the police are going out doing things. The mayor has the pull to affect those things. That's what I thought y'all were going to go initially, but y'all went to
Arts.
I didn't.
arts. Yeah.
That was all.
I didn't say arts.
Camelbacking.
We want Sheikh Rashid to get 3 more brushes, 4 weeks, every Wednesday. Anything else? Because we want protection from cops.
Yeah, defense. But that goes under the art.
All right. Are there anything else that a Moorish American would want? Finances, give me money.
Some of the laws don't
right
change.
to have our own institution. Like, you know, I guess it was a few years ago, we went someplace to open up a temple and they were
Influence to exist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had an issue.
Institution, civic organization.
We want what's another word for it? We don't want to be prejudiced against in situations of doing X, Y, and Z, right? How about religious freedom?
Islam. Islam problem.
Does that include we want Fridays to be able to double park on the streets like they do on Sundays and stuff like that?
Islam.
All
Islam.
right.
What
Is there anything else that that we want? We want to
My own
do
Chinatown.
we want a
but
day or something? I mean, do we they don't give us a whole. We gotta take our own town. We want a Moorish town. We're gonna have to bully that. So
take that.
that's a bully move right there.
So we can make that.
Now, let's talk about, like I say, when a person refuses to do this, the second paragraph, it says, those who fail to cast this ballot, have become no more than beasts of burden. Now, there's 2 beasts listed in our writings. Now, the first is one of the fallen, under a human being, the one that we consume, that a true human consumes. And the other is one of the 5 lower selves. Beast, right? So we don't want to be a beast, right? We're supposed to be a man. We're supposed to be one of Allah. All right. It says there are reasons why certain classes who are more or less independent take no part in politics, since they say they get nothing out of such in the way of material gain. So there are people here that don't, and there are groups here that are considered recession-proof to a degree, and they do what they want, and they don't vote, but yet still they prosper. But they have an internal mechanism that they're working under. Now it says this is no less than a political slave, since they refuse to voice their sentiments at the polls. So we have 2 options. You can either be free, or you can be a slave. Now, if we choose to be free, we need to know what things are important to us, Moorish Americans in Atlanta area. Arts, really? All right. and what those things are. So I'm assuming education for our babies and things like that. Open up financial avenues. We need protection and religious freedom. So when we talk, and of course, I took this out of a theoretical situation, but this is a very actual, real situation. So please make notes of that, because we do have the ear of a certain politician, and he wants to know what the Moorish Americans want. So that little test was actually a real thing. You all just participated in politics.
Islam.
All right? You did what people do. You got together and you came up with a plan of action, things that you want. Not that hard, is it? Not that scary, is it? Did anybody turn to a slave? Did you turn to a slave, Moab? You are. All is well, see? Any questions? I'll leave you as I come in peace.
Islam.
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 Easy.